सब पे नजर अंदर की खबर
ने ऑर्गेनाइज़ करवाया था। जीआईजी इसमें पार्टनर है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी जो है इसमें स्टेक होल्डर है। आज का जो बुनियादी मकसद था, एक तो ये था कि जो हमारे माइग्रेंट वर्कर हैं लो स्किल्ड, उनको कैसे उनकी अपस्किलिंग करके उनको एज़ पर स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑफ ईयू कंट्रीज़ और बाकी जो ममालिक हैं जो वहाँ पे इस वक्त लेबर मार्केट में जो डिमांड है उसको कैसे मीट किया जाए अपस्किलिंग करके। और इसके लिए नेफ्टेक है, पंजाब टैफ्टा है के जितने प्रोविंशियल टैफ्टाज हैं वो हैं, पीवीटीसी है, और ये सारे मिल के जॉइंट हैंड्स करेंगे। और हम बेसिकली इस वक्त ये अपनी जो लो स्किल वर्कफोर्स है उसकी अप स्किलिंग के हवाले से ये एक छोटा सा एक कोशिश थी आईसीएमपीडी के थ्रू। और इसको फर्दर जो है ना वो इससे फ़ायदा ये होगा कि जो पाकिस्तानी अफरादी क़ुव्वत है वो जीसीसी के अलावा बाकी ममालिक में भी जा सकेगी जब ये म्यूचुअल स्किल रिकग्निशन का प्रोग्राम जो है वो हो जाएगा। और इससे जो हमारे यूरोपियन रीजन है उसमें हमारे लिए, हमारे पाकिस्तानी भाइयों के लिए, अफरादी क़ुव्वत के लिए दरवाज़े खुलेंगे। ये इसका बुनियादी मकसद है आज की इवेंट का। और वैसे भी आज इंटरनेशनल माइग्रेंट डे है, उस हवाले से ये जो चीज़ें मिसिंग हैं पाकिस्तानी वर्कफोर्स की उसके हवाले से आज डिबेट हुई है, कंसल्टेटिव प्रोसेस है। और इंशाल्लाह बहुत जल्द हम ईयू में अपनी अफरादी क़ुव्वत लीगल तरीके से भेज सकेंगे और इससे इल्लीगल जो पाथवेज़ हैं वो कम होंगे और जो लीगल अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ है वो ओपन होंगी। और जिस तरह के ये इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं जो डिफरेंट माफियाज़ के तहत लोग कश्तियों के थ्रू जाते हैं, तो उसको कम करने में बहुत हद तक मदद मिलेगी जब टैलेंट पार्टनरशिप प्रोग्राम इंट्रोड्यूस हो जाएगा पाकिस्तान के लिए इंशाल्लाह। थैंक यू।
Having experience, they are not being recognized in country of destination and country of origin. So we started working on that. We adopted two strategies. One is preparing for regional qualification framework that helped them from Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka has successfully introduced the skill passport, and they are working on that to integrate the Tamil migrants. Initially, it was introduced for the Tamil migrants, but later on, I decided to introduce skill passport in Pakistan. Traditional sectors like construction and heavy machine operators, like other transportation options, it also having inclusion of this now technological advancements, we have to further emphasize on this technological advancement. We are looking for not only for the lower side sectors, skilled workforce, but we need high skilled workforce for these professional sectors also. This concept of redefining from low salary skill to high skilled workforce is involved the transition of migration, concept of the transition of migration from labor-intensive industry to the highly skilled and professional towards the highly skilled workforce production in need of the global labor market. There are some key factors involved in this shifting of low skill to high skill and high skill workforce. One of them is economic transformations. Many countries are in the evolution of economic transformation. They have changed their focus from labor-intensive industry to the knowledge-based economy. And for this purpose, they need a high-skilled workforce which redefine these low skills to high skills. Need of workforce. Second factor that is most important, that is technological advancement. Due to the rise of this application process around the globe, things are rapidly changing. There are a lot of advancements, not even in the sectors like construction, like other manufacturing industry. Even nowadays, health is also a very important sector where technology has also transformed from manual things to automated things. This is the another reason for redefining this, shifting from low to high skilled workforce. Third factor is global competition. Uh, Many countries are changing their global competition means I can say that many nations are trying to retain and attract the skilled workforce, and they want to have these highly skilled individuals as a migrant worker instead of low skilled workforce to have to be trained over there on job. That is, I think now this concept has been changed with the passage of time, and now the need for this highly skilled workforce to transform and for their sustainability.
Level 4, 5 is missing, so we have to work further. The second question is, yes, we, as my friend has stated, that we are also conducting RES, recognition of prior learning. That is, in our local words, Ustad Chartered stream. We are also conducting those RES, and we have examined and certified various Ustad Chartered stream RES. So there is a bigger portion of our society and they need certification. So we are also conducting those processes, but although very slow, but needs to be improved. Now, the third thing which I like to talk about is the Overseas Employment Corporation. Whether Overseas Employment Corporation is doing its job perfectly, I don't know. I'm sorry, but this is the reality. Overseas Employment Corporation, one of their office is in our institute. What they do, they simply announce the jobs, they conduct test and interview, and that's it. I think they need to focus more on the policy side. They should be more coordinated with the private institutes. They should highlight the demands of the countries various across the globe. What are their needs? What are their demands? And that has to be translated. That needs to be coordinated with the private institutes so that the proper training in that respect will be conducted and they will be prepared. So, Overseas Employment Corporation needs to take a lead role on coordinating, I would say, because this is the need of the country. So, I'm sorry. We, Pakistani, especially because I belong to the KPKI, must say that the people, the children, the youth, they are very talented, they are very energetic, and they have got the talent if they are properly trained. They can a proper policy and a proper direction must be there so that we may train our trainees according to the demand of the world. So this is all about from my side. Thank you very much.
Said in response, I really accept this. The event sector and the demand sector is entirely disconnected. But overseas employment corporations have taken some initiatives. Like we have integrated with Punjab Chapter, we have integrated with NATEC, and we have secured foreign job for 17,000 trained workforce from these without any human intervention. But we have given them our infrastructure in IT infrastructure, and this system is integrated with the POE jobs on overseas portal. And this ICMP soft skills module is also there, and none of them has to be gone through any middleman to the OEP for student job, or none of them has to be gone to the office of the OEP. They have called by the employer directly or OEP directly, we need you. Why? That person data is available on OEC job portal. It's my humble request that must come forward and to match the steps which has already been taken to teach data and NAPTEC. Please come with us, join hands, we can do much better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You are ready. Anytime if you come forward, you will be there. You will be there to forward.
Thank you very much, Professor Syed Ahmed.
For regarding the national skill passport, I can share more information with you. That January it was started in Sri Lanka. That was initiated for the returning migrants specifically. But later on, when Pakistan adopted it, and members of the steering committee through them, we have introduced this in Pakistan in 3 grades: electrician, plumbing, and services. So this is basically the validation and recognition of skills and qualifications. General example is like if I'm a plumber and I have also experience as electrician, but that is not validated to degree or academic degree or something like certificate. So I can go to the authority, trade testing boards, and then request them that I have these set of skills as well, and they can organize a test for me, and they can see the level of level of skills, and then they can issue a certificate to me. So that certificate helps me for upward mobility in skilling and reskilling in local and international markets. Initially, this is in local market, but eventually it will extend it to international labor market. So this will provide opportunity to me that I have these set of skills, and employer has opportunity to see that this person has these set of skills, and this is helpful for my industry or for my organization. So this is just an overview. This will also link towards the global ERP and country of destination. We can link it later on, that they can see that what sort of human resource Pakistan have and what are their skills, and definitely they can see the cost of migrant workers as well. If you talk about generally, then we can see that the Bureau of Immigration reported the data that we have 40% around totals that migrant workers will go for. 40% of them are unskilled and 40% are semi-skilled. So we have 80%, this is about. We need to focus on that new trades that will help to learn and introduce the new trades for the migrant workers. Bringing back to the women migrant worker, how it is supporting that, as I mentioned earlier, that this will be a national repository. Few days back, there was another conference, and I mentioned that when the OEC reported the data returning migrants, there was 96,000 workers who are, and there were only 2,000 women migrant workers. They returned to Pakistan. They were integrated. So if you talk about the data, and then we talk about the evidence-based policy for the migrant workers, we do not have data that support the evidence-based policy. And still our national immigration policy is pending, and then we request through this conference and the forum to government of Pakistan to endorse the national welfare immigration policy for the migrant workers. What we have given them and what we are receiving from them. So we need to provide them support. Pakistan is getting remittances to the migrant workers, and we need to provide them support to learn new skills to contribute in positive development of Pakistan. So migration is a positive force that can contribute in the development of Pakistan. So we do not have data on the women migrant workers. And then further, if we can look at that, what are the opportunities available for the women migrant workers? So we also talk about the ban on domestic migrant workers. There is like policy level, there is a ban for the domestic migrant workers. Less than age 35 years, women cannot go abroad as a domestic worker. We need to request government of Pakistan lift that ban to support them. Apart from that, in opportunities in other trades, we have to look into that what are the legal challenges available for the women migrant workers. As a practice, nursing is a dominating trade for the women migrant workers going abroad. But when maybe my Bureau of Immigration colleagues do not agree with this, but it has been observed in the research that whenever the nursing women nurses they go to protectorate office, as a practice they've been asked for no objecting certificate from the family. But as a legislative or an policy level, there is no restriction for that. But they do ask and they do obtain no objecting certificate from them. So these are the challenges that we need to remove and to facilitate the labor migrant workers. So I think I answered your question. Thank you.
Your second question was pertains to me. You are very right. Good news that this year we have sent 1 million workers abroad. Only 1% participation was made to this women participation was only 1%. And if we talk about overall migrated workers, that is around 30 million, and that percentage is also negligible, that is 21% overall. And what we are doing in this respect, this is the actual question that I want to answer. As Shilasa mentioned, that we have this restriction of housemates in Middle Eastern countries only, not for the whole world. And we are trying to remove this age barrier, and we are trying for this legislation to move it as soon as possible to remove this age barrier from 35 years to 25. And this age barrier is only for housemates, not for nursing and other health-critical staff. Second, what initiatives we have taken in the Ministry of Overseas Pakistan. We have not waited till the removal of this age barrier. We have gone to other sectors, like I am giving you an example of Japan. What we did, we have ensured maximum participation of women migrants for Japan side, because we have, this is a new destination for us, and this is new opportunity for our youth. So we are also taking it as a challenge that our workers should behave here, that we are there to, they should prove themselves over there with not only with their skills, but their work ethics, their behavior, their cultural norms, like blah. So we are trying to maximize this women participation in Japan sector. And one example is that I have sent almost 60 workers, out of them 35 are women for Japan. And now we have conducted 3-day trainings for ALT. This is again a new sector for women in Japan. ALT, assistant language teachers, that is English teachers, and more, they have demanded us for 40 teachers, but we have conducted their training and they have selected the whole 70 batch, and out of them 50 are women, only 20% men participation. So we are taking initiatives for the maximum and to maximize the participation of women migrant workers, and this is not only on part of Ministry of Overseas Pakistani, but as you are well aware, that our social norms, our culture, our social levels, that's also an area which needs awareness campaign. And for this purpose, ICMPD good job. They are going with us at the community level, and they are trying to create this awareness that we are equally need to participation of these women migrant workers, and safety is there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We need to have this should be at the institutional level, that we should develop on R&D for this purpose. But what we are doing in our capacity, for example, we have identified these 85 categories for Japan, again Japan, and we have made this so transparent that we have announced the whole 85 categories on our web portal, and we have kept data of around 12,000 Islamic immigrants against those categories. What we are doing, we are not only going to be present them before the employer for hiring. We are giving them soft skills through ICLP score. We are doing their RPM through NATEC if they are needed. If a person who is lacking in skill, we have done this mechanism with NATEC that they will provide us RPM. And what is the need of growth? And if you ask me, as per my experience, the most important sectors which we can change them as an opportunity for Pakistani youth is healthcare giver, not nursing, healthcare giver. Then, and you and me also as healthcare giver, because we take care of our parents. We don't need any specialized healthcare giver, but we need to be on job training. And unfortunately, we have taken up this NATEC. They are starting this caregiver course. Only first batch was not completed, and Ministry of Health came out of sudden and said, "This is not your mandate. Why are you doing this?" This is the initiative which has been taken by Ministry of Health in Pakistani in collaboration with Ministry of Technical Education. New role with that. Second, construction. Third, IT. Fourth, medical professionals like nursing and doctors. This is a misconception that we are when we talk about medical professionals. Medical professionals mean allied health sciences or technicians, lab technicians, respiratory doctors, cardiac professionals. These are medical professionals, and they all are equally entitled. If you say in Japan, till 2025, we need 580,000 workers in different categories, in different 85 categories. You will be amazed, Russia is in need of 7,000 workers, 700,000 workers for their construction industry, manufacturing industry. You will be amazed, Germany is in dire need of skilled workforce, or especially in the health, in care sector. They are letting of their old homes, are letting of this caretaker, but we can't meet their requirement. We don't have these skill recognition, mutual skill recognition regime with German side and EU side. We have tried, and we have done this technical group meeting. Hopefully in 2024 we will operations, construction, IT, and this heavy machine operator will comes under construction, but I don't think so, because this will be we will take it as a separate stream, like this welding course. I am just giving you an example that in Korea, South Korea, we are exporting manpower there since 2006 under G2G arrangement. But till now we have only exported 18,000 unskilled workers. But now Korea is requiring this skill regime. They need dire need of welders, but unfortunately, our delegation has visited Pakistan, but we don't have that skill standard which they want to be high. Then agree, even my nephew, even my debtors, all debtors, unable to provide me ticket training for this welding course. And I lost that 7,000 vendors demand. What are the emerging sectors where we need to upskill our youth, health, construction, IT, and this hospitality. There is a lot of scope for these four sectors. If we choose initially these four sectors, we can get more employment for our youth in foreign destinations. And this is not only the employment, it is a source of benefits for us, but it is a need of this. Again, I request, taking opportunity of this forum, I request again ILO, GIC, ICMPP, please do handle the as more and do work more and on faster for this mutual skill recognition regime. This is a need for Pakistani youth that until we have not this mutual skill recognition regime, we will not able to produce our workers to be demanding conditions.
One question.
The second session, starting with Dr. Umilela. Dr. Umilela is the head of Department of Government and Public Policy and the associate professor at the National University of Sciences and Technology at NUST. She has been a valued consultant and academician with vast experience in the field of migration. Dr. Umilela, may I request you to please come here? Thank you. Our second speaker for today is Mr. Shafqat. Mr. Shafqat is working currently as the Director PVTC Punjab. He holds 23 years of professional experience in telecom, electronic distance learning and vocational training fields. Currently working as a Senior Manager Research and Development at PVTC Government of Punjab. Safeguards individuals from the pearls often associated with irregular journeys such as human trafficking and exploitation. Simultaneously, opening legal pathways acknowledges the inherent human right to seek refuge and pursue better opportunities through legitimate means. This manifested approach aims to foster a more humane, just, and orderly migration.
Positive as well as negative impacts as well. If you will see the positive impact, yes, brain drain, it's good for the knowledge sharing, good for the perspective, cultural diversity, innovation, and so on. And it's good for the country, the host country. It comes not a brain drain, it's a brain gain for the host country. But it's not good for the existing country, like loss of human capital. You are actually not providing potential innovation and growth because the innovation and growth is limited. That's why the skilled worker, the talented people are moving abroad and they are settling there because of the political instability, because of the living standards issue, because of the security issues, because of the educational level issues. That's why people are migrating from one country to another. So how can we retain our skilled workers? What type of opportunities can we provide at workplace, at organizational level, and at government level? Yes, this is the first thing that we have to provide the decent work. That is the Sustainable Development Goal number 8. I think we all know that we have to achieve Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. And the 8th goal is actually about decent work and economic growth. So at micro level, we can provide decent work opportunities. We can provide the equal wages. We can provide the healthy environment. We can provide the growth opportunities, promotional opportunities. We can provide transportation, and we can provide them housing that they can stay in their organization. This is called the planning department. Is providing different cash transfers to women to increase the women labor participation. That's why you can bring in your skilled laborers. They are providing the cash transfers to women. They are providing the microcredit to to start their own business, like Kasha Foundation, Aqua Foundation. They are looking for retaining their skilled worker. And Pakistan Commission is also providing sending remittances back to your country, your host country. It's good for reducing the domestic violence in impact on their household needs, because when people their household needs, it's good for their educational opportunities. So brain drain somehow is good for the economic growth. But I think this is the responsibility of the government, since we have to make evidence-based policy. Like one of the colleagues says about the data issues, ILO's representative says that data ban is a very big issue. Yes, I understand that data is an issue for the unskilled workforce. But we can actually see that how many people's skilled workers are migrating from Pakistan to another country. Like you can see the data. If you can see the data that it shows in 2021, 25,000 Pakistanis migrated from Pakistan to another country. But if you see the data of 2023, it's nearly triple. 75,000 Pakistanis migrated from Pakistan to abroad, specifically in like Saudi Arabia, US and UK. Why? Because
overall migration is very important, and female migration is 50% of that. In some cases, more than 50%. Because, as my colleague Dr. Mujala said, that we don't have the accurate data. And data is not static thing. Nowadays, it's dynamic. The data science is evolving. Data is not homogeneous, it's heterogeneous, it's also dynamic. We need to follow the data and capture it and make policies and our decisions according to these changes. When we talk about skilled labor migration or human migration, this will never be stopped, and this had never been stopped. When we take into account the historical trends, it was ever before, and it will last. It will also increase. Women are going abroad from different countries. There are two types of countries in this regard: the destination country and the source country. Both have their roles. We forget the role of destination country sometimes, and sometimes we forget the role of source. We need to work harmoniously.
we can say the absent fathers can impact on the negative impact on the cognitive development of a child, or you can say social development of a child, because if the father is absent in Punjab or in KPK, so that impacts on the child's development. So family, yes, finances are very important, but you need psychological aspect as well. So somehow for Pakistan, brain drain is good for the economic growth and for the household consumption.
I would add one thing more. Nowadays, the world is global. When there is positive development in any part of the world, the whole world is affected. And when there is a destruction in every part of the world, the whole world is also affected by it. We have recently undergone through a pandemic, COVID-19. It is affected across the world. So when we are joining hands with the 12 countries by sending our workforce to them, this is also positive for us and also positive for the rest of the world. So we should not take it negatively. It has positive effects too.
So, Kamal Zada again. My question this time is about MRC, so in this case from Ma'am Hina. MRCs are, we understand that MRCs are doing a fabulous job, so they might have some impact as well to put a check on irregular migration. So my question is that impact measured by some empirical evidence such as baseline or end-time research or not? My second question is that there is significant research available which speak about numerous serious issue of integration faced by returning migrants upon their return to the home country. So my question is MRC mandated to work for the returning migrants as well? If so, what services are MRCs providing to the returning migrants?
Thank you, Kamal, for the question. And starting with the work of MRCs, of course, when it comes to awareness raising, this is one of the key intervention and the component of MRC work. Of course, the MRCs have been established since 2016, so we've been working in the communities, particularly which are migrant communities, reaching out to potential intending outgoing migrants as well as returnees and the families as well. Where we have numbers of reaching out to these communities in order to give ourselves direction and see the impact of our interventions. These studies of impact assessment and evaluations have been conducted time to time. Just to quote briefly, that in a study which was conducted initially in 2020-21, which is an independent study on the services that are being provided by the migrant resource centers across the services that they do in terms of direct counseling as well as community outreach and reaching out to immediate outgoing migrants through pre-departure orientational services. There was observed an increase of 36.1% increase when it comes to these audience or MRC beneficiaries knowing about the government services through the information that the MRC council provides in their sessions. There was also observed a 13.1% decrease when it comes to people getting to know about the risks and dangers of irregular migration, which they were not well aware or initially not aware before the sessions. Likewise, when it comes to availability of the legal migration revenues, there was also an increase of 13%, which was also seen when it comes to people knowing or getting to know about legal opportunities that are being provided and being offered by the government services, government departments, and they were able to have access to these services. When it comes to returnees, very significant contributors in terms of information sharing, but they also have a role to play, not just in terms of like information sharing, to share the experiences. So we take it as a very important and key stakeholders when we plan our interventions or outreach activities. Definitely MRCs are engaging with these returnees, not just at the decision-making phase
of Labour, Manpower and Overseas Pakistanis, where he was involved in developing the national strategy for employment, migration and human resource development. In the recent past, he has also served as the head of Pakistan.
Allied departments, Overseas Employment Corporation, Bureau of Immigration and Overseas Employment, international organizations like IRADA, ILO, colleagues from academia, civil society organizations. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. I know that I am the only person standing between you and lunch, so I'll keep myself short and I'll stick to the 10 minutes allocated to me. Again, a lot has been said today. We had a policy dialogue last week where we came across different topics. We studied in depth and also analyzed a couple of the key topics which are under discussion today as well. And I hope and expect that we will jot down all those points and contribute towards the betterment of Pakistan, specifically when we talk about the national immigration policy. I think Ministry of Overseas is here, so they will consider our comments and they will actually integrate those comments in the upcoming social welfare and immigration policy. I'm a student of labor market, so there were lots of questions asked from the House regarding the labor market, regarding the data. We talked about the qualification standards, we
talked about the sectors in demand. We talked about the mutual qualification recognition system. Colleagues were talking about recognition on prior learning. I'm wearing two hats right now. From the GIZ side, I'm also the head of the TVET program, so I can also say a couple of words from that when it comes to skill development and also this topic of migration as well. Allow me to say that, again, the question regarding data and availability of data, sometimes it bothers me in a sense that, again, there are lots of data sets available. It's just a matter of drafting and crafting yourself the way you want to do. Bureau of Immigration is compiling the data. Overseas Employment Corporation, they have their own data sets. Provincial TEFTAs, NAFTTC, they have their own data sets. So you can actually see that how it can be linked when it comes to identifying the sectors in demand. Let me give you an example. We talked about the GCC region, the migration trends towards the GCC region, and also specifically we talk about the Saudi region. So what about the upcoming Expo 2030, the Saudi Vision 2030, and also the upcoming World Cup in 2034, exactly. So see, we already can see that what will be the sectors in demand. For example, all these, expos, World Cup, Vision 2030, it all involves and it revolves around the construction sector. It revolves around the IT sector. So we can prepare ourselves. So the question of workforce readiness is still valid, but at the same time, we have the structures in place. For example, Shafkat Sahab was mentioning that their institute, PBTC, is the only institute in Pakistan who is implementing and rolling out the CBT, the competency-based training model in Pakistan. And also, there were lots of talks about the recognition of prior learning. So, the system still exists. It's just like, the disconnect. Of course, we talked about the disconnect. Again, the purpose of organizing such kind of an event is that to eliminate the disconnect between public and private sector. I think I was really happy to see the questions posted before the panelists, but also surprised at the same time that we as a GIZ, also ICMBT, we are working on different structures when it comes to conducting awareness campaigns, supporting measures to the returning migrants. But in the house where we have so-called the subject matter experts, they are not aware of these structures. So when we talk about the beneficiaries and the target audience, so I think it raises a lot of questions that we also have to work a lot when it comes to that. Maybe a massive awareness campaigns to come up with the smart solutions, so that we also have to think. Another area which I want to highlight is together with ICMPT, I think we are aiming and trying to align ourselves with the requirements when it comes to migration and return and reintegration chapter. So I think from our side, we will definitely sort of join our hands together when it comes to betterment of these all structures and framework. Two things which I feel as a researcher are most important. The role of the private sector. Again, if you take into account the share of overseas employment, so the share belonging towards the private sector is way higher than the public sector. So I sometimes feel that we need to also take them on board in a sense that actually what is going on the ground. For example, we have I think over 2,000 active overseas employment promoters generating a lot of employment and also gathering a lot of employment from abroad. So we also need to take them on board in a sense that what are the ground realities which exist on the ground. Of course, we were talking about the different dimensions. Someone asked the question that what is the mechanism which exists to actually see what are the trades and sectors in demand. I think here, sir, I would request the ministry to also strengthen the role of CWA, which is actually the job of the CWA to send back these reports identifying all these exercises.
Mr. Shahzad Ahmed Project Coordinator, International Labour Organization.
भाई थोड़े से साइड भी हो जाए ना, पीछे कैमरे लगे हैं.
Professor Syed Ahmed Tefta KP. Ms. Hina Maqsood, Project Manager, MRC's ICMPD. Dr. Umair Laila, Professor, NUST, Islamabad. Mr. Shafqat Ur Rahman, Director, PBTC, Punjab. Thank you very much.
Hina Maqsood, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर माइग्रेंट रिसोर्स सेंटर, इंटरनेशनल सेंटर फॉर माइग्रेशन पॉलिसी डेवलपमेंट. आज का जो प्रोग्राम है ये हमने कॉन्फ्रेंस का इनेकाद किया ऑन इंटरनेशनल माइग्रेंट्स डे टू रिकॉग्नाइज द सर्विसेज ऑफ द माइग्रेंट्स एंड रिकग्निशन ऑफ देयर स्किल्स. ये जो आज का प्रोग्राम था ये ICMPD, GIZ और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानीज़ एंड ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट के तावन से इस प्रोग्राम का इनेकाद किया गया. जहाँ तक माइग्रेंट्स का ताल्लुक़ है तो वहाँ माइग्रेंट्स जो हैं वो ना सिर्फ डेस्टिनेशन कंट्रीज़ में बल्कि होस्ट कंट्रीज़ की इकोनॉमीज़ को में भी कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे होते हैं. और माइग्रेंट्स के राइट्स के प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, उनकी स्किल रिकग्निशन के लिए और उनको कनेक्ट करने के लिए ज़्यादा बेहतर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ से आज की जितनी भी डिस्कशंस थी वो इन टॉपिक्स के सराउंडिंग थी और हमने इन टॉपिक्स को आज डिस्कस किया. आज की इवेंट का मकसद ये भी था कि हम जितने रेलेवेंट स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं, चाहे वो गवर्नमेंट से हैं, इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से हैं, लोकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से, टेक्निकल वोकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट, एकेडमिया, सब इकट्ठे हों ताकि एक कॉम्प्रहेंसिव और एक कोहेसिव अप्रोच बनाई जा सके कि किस तरह हम माइग्रेशन को रेगुलरली प्रमोट कर सकते हैं, उसको मज़ीद डिग्निफाइड बना सकते हैं, माइग्रेंट्स को के लिए ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्रिएट कर सकते हैं कि वो अपनी सलाहियतों को ना सिर्फ बेहतर तरीके से उनको उजागर किया जा सके बल्कि वो उसको रिकग्नाइज़ भी करें, उसका रिकग्निशन भी हो और इदारे उनको उस रिकग्निशन के तहत उनको बेहतर से बेहतर मुलाजमत के मौक़े भी फराहम करें. तो ये आज का जो दिन था उसको मकसद सिर्फ यही था मुनाकिद करने का कि माइग्रेंट्स की जो रिकग्निशन है, उनकी जो कंट्रीब्यूशंस हैं उनको सराहा जा सके. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
जी, आई थिंक ये बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉन्फ्रेंस है जो आज हम अटेंड कर रहे हैं. दैट इज़ ऑन इंटरनेशनल माइग्रेंट्स डे पे, बिकॉज आई थिंक हमें अवेयरनेस देनी है. वी हैव टू डू एडवोकेसी कैंपेन्स दैट हाउ यू कैन गो टू अनदर कंट्री. माइग्रेशन, सेफ माइग्रेशन, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द जो टैलेंट मोबिलिटी की बात हम करते हैं कि हाउ टैलेंट मोबिलिटी impacts on the economies. Yes, brain drain has a significant impact on economic growth, but it has some limitations as well. Like their families actually paying the social cost. Their children are paying the social cost. Their wives, the female actually needs a companion to live with. So yes, migration is good if you are going regular or legally migrating from other countries. But in Pakistan, unfortunately, we are one of the toppest country who's sending their labor sending country. तो आई थिंक हमें काम करना चाहिए अपने डेटा पे, कितने लोग हमारे इलीगल माइग्रेट हो रहे हैं पाकिस्तान से, और उनके लिए जो डेटा सोर्स बनाएंगे, देन वी कैन मेक एन एविडेंस बेस्ड पॉलिसी. अदरवाइज वी कैन मेक अ वेरी ले मैन पॉलिसी जो इतनी एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगी, इतनी फिजिबल नहीं होगी. तो डेटा की सीधी ज़रूरत है. येस, आई नो कि ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानीज़ फाउंडेशन एंड OPE, ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी एम्प्लॉयमेंट जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, दे हैव द डेटा बेसिस. ब्यूरो ऑफ immigrants, they have the databases, but we need more reliable and valid data. That's it. Thank you.
A1TV, सब पे नजर, अंदर की खबर.